Hey everybody, this is this, and yeah, I'm going to try to tackle the problem of the mess of Watchmen, and I'm going to explain something first. I didn't really care for the graphic novel. I mean, I do appreciate Alan Moore's work, and I've enjoyed many of his works, but I didn't care for the graphic novel or the comic book. First of all, DC has their own line of adult or more grown-up version comic books, which is called Vertical. And if you don't know, the movie History of Violence and that one Tom Hanks movie, I can't remember right now, were both based on comic books. When Tom Hanks, the gangster movie starring Tom Hanks. But yeah, that's besides the point. And they did start in Vertical. Both of them did. But the simple fact is not everybody's going to like Watchmen. You know, that's just the simple fact of it all. I mean, Watchmen, as much as it was as a good comic, Alan Moore really does know how to write his character bases, and most of the character bases came from character line comics, which basically sold out to DC Comics many years ago, where this is where most of the character bases came from. You know, the Atom, and of course the Question, which, you know, and some of them you could tell easily, some you really can't. Bases of the Question, Blue Beetle, E-Man. The rest I really don't know, but I do know the female was made up by Alan Moore himself because there was no real female character in Caroline Comics. But anyways, this whole idea of outlawing superheroes and stuff isn't really anything new, and putting superheroes in the real world wasn't anything new. I mean, in fact, the people who tackled that problem well before Watchmen even came out was another comic book source, which you've all well known as X-Men. Yeah, they actually tackled that situation. It was mostly Cliff Claremont who had to tackle that, who got to that area first. And it was, even though technically Marvel is not a graphic novel set or a graphic novel, it was a pretty much grown-up situation in outlying mutants. And after that, before the comic book, I believe, Civil War, in fact, or Marvel Comics Civil War, Marvel, there was a registration act on superheroes and outlawing superheroes that Marvel had done well before Watchmen and any of that. I can't bring it up because I don't even remember where they were. But anyways, the Mutant Registration Act was actually the whole start of it all. And it later fell into the Superhero Registration Act, which basically, and if you look on here on Wikipedia, there's Watchmen right there. Yep. Watchmen! Yeah. And it's right there. Just look up Mutant Registration Act on Google and look it up on the and you'll see the Wikipedia link right there right away. But anyways, you know, and the whole idea of outlawing vigilantism, which I kind of considered kind of bizarre because, you know, we've seen vigilantism before in movies. Dirty Harry, Lethal Weapon, not forgetting Lethal Weapon 2, when the man showed the diplomatic community papers, and Danny Glover pretty much blew his brains in every which way anyways, and told him his papers were revoked. That's not a vigilante act. I don't know what is. Or the fact that in the first Dirty Harry movie, I mean, let's face it, he shot that guy right there in the head after he said he wasn't going to arrest him anymore. But then again, the whole 30 series was pretty much about a vigilante cop living in the real world. Sounds familiar, don't it? But, yeah, I'd just love to see a comic book where they pretty much had vigilante cops and superheroes living in the same fucking world, and pretty much the world hate them both, but you can't have everything you want. But if you really wanted to know where it all came from and all that, X-Men was pretty much its original start. Caroline Comics, where pretty much the original draft of the original characters came from. And yeah, DC, and then Vertical. I mean, yeah, I love Vertical because you get away with a lot of stuff, which is why Marvel now created Max. And that's for Civil War. They said they were copying Watchmen, which was actually copying an old Marvel Comics storyline, which doesn't make any freaking sense. I mean, and yeah, that's my widgets. And well, that's my 2 cents, anyways. But well, nothing really more to be said than that.